Do you want to tell people about your hidden fucking
that you're like a chess champion?
So when I was 13 or 12, or I just started high schools after I left primary school. I was playing professional chess.
Yeah.
And Baron, how I ended up in playing professional chess was weird to begin with because I never played it much. I just liked video games a lot.
Yeah.
And so it was the only video game that my dad would play with me. Chess. So it wasn't, right? So because if I wanted
chess.
Yeah, no, it was just normal chess, right?
Yeah.
But I remember I was playing at year 3. How old are you in year 3 in the UK? 8, 9?
8, 9.
And the chess club was only for the last year, which was all the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I remember they wouldn't let me play with them, but they let me play with them, and this is so anime, right? Because outside of the chess club, I beat their best player in a game of chess.
Right.
And then they were like, no, you got to let this guy play with us. He's good.
Yeah,
He's good.
yeah.
And so I beat them all, and then nothing happened for 3 years until it was my time to join the chess club, and I was allowed to join the chess club.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I joined the chess club, and our school had lost every single chess tournament ever, right? Because it was a local, I didn't even know we had this. There was a local circuit, right? Between all the schools played each other, like football and every other sport, right?
Yeah.
There's one for chess. And I remember that we started playing in that, and also the guy who was number 2 in our chess team, because I was number 1, we were both equal, which is also very anime, right?
He had the rival character and everything.
His power level was on par with mine.
My whole chess experience is genuinely like an anime. Because I'm going to keep talking, and there's more stuff to it.
Yeah.
Stuff. And then we just started winning every single game, against every other school. It wasn't even close. I remember these kids were bad. And I remember every time they were they would be shocked at how quickly we would beat these kids.
Yeah.
It's very different in professional chess to playing at someone who doesn't. In professional chess, it's a long thing, and I'll get more into it later. But and these were games I could win in 20 minutes. Because I could see how they fucked up, and I would take it. And to me, it just made sense, right? I never practiced. I was just good at games, and it made sense. And then one time there was a school, and these guys had been number 1 for 10 years in a row or something, because they had a guy who was someone's parent, and he's obsessed with chess. Knows he's very, very good at chess, and we beat his team, and they were shocked. They were like, "Nani? You beat the Prodigy team."
This is like a sports anime.
No,
right?
it
This
is.
is a fucking sports anime.
You could base a chess manga off of your life, honestly.
No, right? Because I remember thinking it was weird because this guy was making a whole commotion. Bear in mind, I was 12, right? I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And this guy was making a whole commotion. He was shocked, and I was sitting there, and he was walk me through everything you did. And I was I don't know. I didn't write it down because most you're supposed to write it down in professional chess, and he was writing it down, and I thought that was weird. I was why would you write down your moves? You just did them. Why are you not going to go back? And he was which move? Why did you move here? How did you know how to do that and stuff? And I was I don't know. I just did it.
Yeah.
And then he spoke to my mom and was you should come to this thing. And it's it's weird. It's 200 kids come to a place.
Yeah.
By the way, chess for kids is a really weird kind of thing. It's just adults pushing a bunch of Cambridge kids.
Yeah.
to do it. So I went to a location, and there was 200-300 kids all just playing chess. And then you would get an opponent, and if you won or lost, you would then play someone who was won.
Yeah.
And the more you kept winning, the more you would go up. And then eventually people who won all their games would go on to play for the area.
Yeah.
A big
It's a
area.
legit tournament arc.
Legit.
is, right?
And okay, here's the best tournament arc. I was killing all my games, right?
Yeah.
And I'd won 4. So you play 7. And I remember I won 4 in a row. They were really easy. My friend as well, he'd lost 2, and then he was already out. And I felt bad. I was
I'll avenge you.
I'll go on for you.
I'll see you in the finals.
and it's weird because I never had any, a lot of these kids as well, they would be studying it in between games, but I would just whip out Pokemon and start playing it.
Yeah,
And then I'd be oh, it's my time to go. I'd save and then play. But I remember, so my 5th game was against the guy I beat in my school, the Prodigy team or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to play him again, and we drew. And it was really anticlimactic. And I was fuck, I beat him last time. I wanted to beat him again. Anyway, I got on the team. And I was okay. I was struggling because this is where it was getting really serious. I was decent enough where I could win 70% of my games, but it was still starting to get really long because chess games never went more than an hour.
Yeah.
And then they start becoming 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm 13, and I'm this is kind of taking them. This is kind of taking.
I just want to play fucking
I wanna
Pokemon.
go, right? But I started winning, and then I got contact, and they're hey, do you want to play for your country? And I was sure, I guess I'll play for my country. Why not? Yeah, I'm doing good enough. So I turn up. I go to the first tournament. You won't believe, because I was number 10. So there's 10 seats, right?
Yeah.
One is the best, 10's the worst. So I was the worst on the country.
Yeah.
was the country for the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who was number 1? I think I've told you guys a story.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
it was like the main bully at my school. I shit you
You
not.
can't make this shit up, man.
Right?
You can't make
I
this
shit
shit up.
you not. It was like the main bully at my school who, like, no one knew he did this.
This
And
is the point in the manga where like the flashback begins.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
he used to bully me.
he was the main rival all along, right?
He literally was the kid that everyone was scared of. And I remember thinking, like, man, he was really good at Halo Wars too. That was weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then suddenly, like, he's really fucking good at chess. Like, he was
Yeah.
amazing, and he was winning a lot against like really good players. Bear in mind, when it got to this point, it was pretty much me, him, and 8 kids who are going to go to Cambridge.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The environment was really weird as well. And I remember that was when I really started to not enjoy chess anymore. Is that when I remember when I lost a game, I got fucking bollocked by the coaches. They were furious at me because they would take your sheet, right?
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
is when you had to start writing it down.
Yeah.
They would take your sheet and they would rinse you for your moves
Yeah.
in front of you. And then they would watch you the whole game. So there's like always an area above where they can watch you.
Yeah. Oh
Like in
God.
fucking anime. Right? And I remember if you made a move that was under 5 minutes,
Yeah.
that was a mistake, you got fucking rinsed for it. Because they were like, you didn't think long enough.
Wow.
You've got to go through the options. Because it gets to the point where you're like, you know that they're thinking just as many moves ahead as you are. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
to get really difficult. Because
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, like I haven't studied enough at this point. Because
Yeah.
I never studied chess.
Yeah.
But this is where I was getting to the point where I was against people who were naturally pretty good, but also were studying all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just a really bad environment. I really didn't like it. It was just
Yeah.
like whereas I would finish my games and I'd play Pokemon, they would want to talk about, so why did you move Rook to, F2?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? It was really impressive when he moved his, and I was like, I don't. We are playing chess for 8 hours today. I do not want to talk about chess in between my
Yeah,
games,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was just like a really it was a really weird environment. And
Yeah.
and I think if I came into chess later in my life, I would have had a more healthy enjoyment of chess.
Yeah.
I still like to play it occasionally, but
Yeah.
I think I'm just like scarred from
Yeah.
the anime experience that I had.
Because that's what I find so fascinating about chess is just talking to you and hearing about your chess story and like hearing it, like reading up and watching like Magnus Carlsen's, I think that's his name. Is it
Yeah, Magnus Carlsen, yeah,
his
he's one of the
story
best.
and how you were just born and you just got the game. They're like there are people who just studied the game,
Yeah.
and then there are just people who just like are geniuses at it and they don't know why.
Yeah.
it's fucking
They were
fascinating.
just born to do
That
it.
was-
right?
It's fucking
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
It was weird because you kind of like, no matter how good you are at something and like how much raw talent you have at
Yeah.
something, when you start competing at such a high level, you start to realize that like it doesn't matter as much, but also you meet people who also like,
Yeah.
there might be like 10 people in that country who also have that same raw talent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because then it starts to come to like who can put them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care about chess.
Yeah.
I never cared about
Yeah.
chess. I was
Yeah.
just good at it and I just played it.
That's
Because
such a thing that a protagonist would say.
right.
I never cared about chess.
Whereas the protagonist would have got to my point, lost, and then been like, I'm gonna dedicate my life to chess. I was like, Pokemon Ranger just came out,
Yeah.
so like I'm gonna start spinning around.
Yeah,
it.
you took the Hikari go route,
Yeah.
right? Where you're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I lost, end of the manga.
And it was just kind of like it gets to that point when your life where you're like, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
And I remember my parents were so sad because I mean I don't know why my parents were so invested in it. I think
Yeah.
that it was a mixture of proud and also they love bragging about it. Why wouldn't you, dude? That's so
Yeah,
fun.
of course.
Your series got cancelled from poor sales.
Yeah.
But then I had a spin-off, right? So what happened is about when I was like 16 or 17, I had
Yeah.
like a rejuvenation of my enjoyment.
Right.
Do you remember a website called MLG Game Battles? Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Sounds
So it was where you
familiar,
could
yeah.
like compete against COD, but they also
Yeah.
had Yahoo Chess. And I remember I would compete against like fully grown men and beat them on Yahoo Chess, and they would get so pissed off. And then I joined the local pub, and that was a weird experience.
Yeah.
So I joined the local pub chess team, and I remember, bear in mind, they were all like 80 to 40-year-old men,
Yeah,
always. And I remember one time I was playing against a guy who looked like Ross Kemp, like the biggest, like a skinhead, terrifying dude. Like he's like this over the table.
Like a brick shit house.
Yeah, yeah,
like
like literally-
every bouncer you see
Literally.
at a nightclub.
And
or
I'm
something
like,
that.
I'm like 15, 16, like this with my Coke, and he had like a pint and like was smoking, and I'm there with my Coke, like occasionally checking my phone. I don't know if that pissed him off, but in between moves, I wouldn't look at what he was doing. I would just check my phone, and I would like, because I'm normally thinking in my moves, so I don't really pay much attention when they're doing it. And I remember when I beat him, and he looked really fucking angry, and I was so scared. Like, I was like, is he gonna hit me? Because he was like this on the table, like this. I can't believe you won.
I can't believe you've done this, man.
I can't believe you've done this.
People didn't like losing to a 15-year-old. That happened a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand.
I get it. I get it.
yeah.
But,
Like-
you know,
I'm just really committed to making this a manga now. Like, just
honestly,
Yeah, please, because like from a narrative perspective, there's so many interesting ways you could tackle just chess as a concept.
I want
right?
to take like that concept of like, you know, your friend being beaten in the preliminary, and then just cut to the scene where you're like in the finals, and your friend is like that one guy who narrates all your moves. He's like
he's the speedwagon.
he's like he just did an en passé. He's like, what's an en passé? En passé is when, and then he just goes on with the explanation.
You know what the one move? Okay, this is gonna sound so nerdy. There's one move in chess that I always wanted to use, and it was I don't know the name of it, but it was the one where like if someone moves their like pawn 2, and then like in front of, if you've moved your pawn 2, then they move it 2 as well, that you can then take it.
That's
You
an
can-
en passé.
yeah.
That's it,
en
right? I
passé.
always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Dude. Using a rook is castling is OP. That's,
Yeah.
You always castle. That's all I remember. Like,
So why did he castle there? It's like, I'll tell you why. He's just
yeah, I don't know, because I remember they tried to teach us. They were like, "Why don't you use the Indian Prince opening of 1970?" And I was like, "Yeah," because they would, when I would do an opening move, I always did the same opening move because I just liked it. It was like nice and symmetrical. I liked it. And they would always say, "Why did you use this person?" Like I said, like the Indian Prince move of 1764.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? I just like how the bishop goes whoop. You know,
Bishop goes.
It just feels nice, you know. It just feels.
it's
nice.
hard to explain it when you're a kid because you're just thinking 4 moves ahead, and you're like, if this goes here and this goes here and this goes here, then you go that. You know what I mean? It's just how you see it. It was weird. It's like any sport, I imagine, where kids are really good at it and the adults are really pushy and kind of like almost borderline. Some of the kids, I'd say, they had like a predatory relationship with it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, again, like I said, they were very rich parents whose kids went to very good private schools, and they were destined to go to Cambridge or Oxford no matter what. And they would, you know exactly what I mean, what kind of kids I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
moment you spoke to them, you're like, we're from a different world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really odd.
Chess
Yeah.
is like their entire world to them, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all
Yeah,
I've
it was
ever
it was
known.
like something that was forced upon them because it was, you know, it's something that looks good on the resume when you
Right.
apply
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Cambridge,
exactly.
you know, like. And
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it got me a few good jobs, or it helped a lot. I remember some job interviews where they liked playing chess, and they would bring it up, and it was like, "Oh, that's cute. You're good." You know, and like, it's like, I don't know.
That's cute.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I
No,
play.
that's a really, you know, I think that's like a really interesting story that you have.
Yeah, bottom line
I
is
don't
we
get to
need to
talk about it
turn
much.
this into an anime.
Yeah,
yeah.
most
I would
definitely.
be, if someone was like, I want to like make a chess anime, I would
Yeah.
absolutely fund
Yeah.
that.
Just like talk to Connor. He has
Yeah.
a very interesting story.
if anyone would like 3 stories
because like it's the perfect chance to like teach people about how to play chess as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good game, and it's one of my favorite things to like sit down and talk to someone about. Just talk and then play
Yeah.
chess.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good way to, I don't know, just have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also fun beating people who think they're good at chess. It's really fun.
the power trip.
Because
Yeah.
I'll meet people who have just been like studying chess. I mean, it's getting really big on Twitch right now.
Yeah, exactly,
And you'll
right.
meet people who are like, you know, they're like really getting into it. And
Yeah.
then you just like stomp them. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, well, because, okay, here's the thing, right? Here's the worst part about chess professionally is that you normally know like 5 or 6 moves in if you've lost or not, but you
Right.
have to play it for another 2.5 hours. And all it is, right?
that
is-
sounds crappy.
That's the difference between casual chess and professional chess, is that casually you always think you can win if you outsmart them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Professional chess, it's just like, how do I drag this out enough so that maybe they'll make a mistake?
Yeah.
And oh god, yeah, it was
Sounds
awful.
horrible.
It was awful. I hated it because it just got to the point where it's like, what's the fucking point in this? It's like being a troll online. It's just like I'm literally just being awkward.
Yeah,
to
you're just
this guy.
prolonging the inevitable, right?
Yeah. And it's like I fucked up 30 minutes in, and now I got to put up with this for 2.5 hours.
It's like loading a game of League, and then 5 minutes in, like your own
Someone's
5.
inting.
Yeah. So
It's-
someone's inting. The jungle is just AFK.
You
and you're like,
accidentally-
and you're like, can I just FF now?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can we just FF? Like, this is like a diamond game right now. Like, no one's gonna make a
Oh,
mistake.
yeah, because I remember this. You know, I never got praised for winning games. They would always be like, good job. You know when they would praise me? When I made it fucking hell for the other person. Like, I remember when this poor girl, I dragged it out and she made a mistake to a stalemate. Barrett, this game went on for like 3 hours and 20 minutes or something
Jesus.
ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It was something fucking long. And I remember I'd lost like an hour in, 100%.
Yeah.
And I just made it awkward. I wasn't playing to win anymore. I was playing to make it awkward for her.
Yeah.
And so I did things that you wouldn't normally do to try and win. You would just do it to cock block everything
Just
that
to
she
annoy
did.
them, right? Yeah.
And I remember she was getting so stressed. And I remember being like, this is kind of fun, but also like, I hate this so much. And then
It's just torture, isn't
when
it?
I got back, it was like coming back into the football locker room. They were like, nice one, let's hit the shower, son. You really made it hell for that 13-year-old girl. Congratulations, Connor. Like, I was just like, man, that didn't feel good. Like, I just lost. I got a stalemate. Like, I worked 3 hours for a stalemate. Like, are you kidding me?
Absolute cock tease.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's other worse ones though, where like I remember those people who would constantly like, because you can ask for a draw. You'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you want a draw? And it would fuck my psychology up because I was like, does this mean I'm winning? Like, does he think he's losing? And one time I remember I regret it to this day. I should have took the draw and I lost.
Yeah.
And fuck, he gave me an out.
That's the learning experience,
Yeah.
man. That's
Yeah.
the character development we need.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
Yeah.
no, exactly.